Super Sentai, the Japanese show Power Rangers uses footage from, female rangers have skirts. Usually. Which brings me to Dino Fury, the first season to gender flip a ranger since Wild Force all the way back in 2002. To put into perspective how long ago that was, the franchise has changed ownership twice since then. In order to avoid continuity errors between the original and Sentai footage, such rangers don't have skirts in Power Rangers either. However, the first episode of Dino Fury showed the previous, also female, Green Ranger with a skirt in a flashback. Since the present Green Ranger doesn't have one in the Sentai footage, people wondered if this would be addressed. And it was!
Hold that thought. Skirts aren't really my thing.
When episode 4 first aired, this caused quite a stir in the Power Rangers fandom. Some praised it for being a female empowerment message, while others criticised it for not making sense within the internal logic, or because they thought it was trying too hard to be woke. Personally, I think people are blowing this way out of proportion. It's just a few seconds of meta-humour that characterises Izzy, who is not the first female Green Ranger, by the way. This is the female Red Rangers all over again. Which brings me to my next point. If SPD were made today, I imagine that some would interpret
You got a problem with that?
as the writers forcing them to accept the idea of a female Red Ranger whether they liked it or not. The skirts discourse is emblematic of a problem across the wider internet. Nowadays, certain people will accuse any work of fiction with a woman in it of forcing an agenda down their throats, and it goes further than that. When the Gold Rangers actor was revealed in a Hasbro Pulse livestream, there were an awful lot of racist comments in the chat. Fortunately, those people seem to be the minority in the Power Rangers fandom, since there are plenty of people arguing against them. Now, I could go into detail about the history behind these attitudes and how they spread, but that's way out of my depth. People more knowledgeable than I have already explained it better than I ever could. Instead, I'll talk about something I've witnessed firsthand that isn't the most infamous, but it did leave a lasting impression on me. A few years ago, a Pokémon fan site said they supported trans people and Mexican immigrants, so some asshole, pardon my French, thought it would be hilarious to make a video where he accused them of forcing politics into a children's game, put words into their mouths, and offended every demographic in America, all the while acting like he was making a serious point. I gave up watching it after 2 minutes, and the comments were even worse. If you disagreed with anything he said or the way he said it, you would be called a butthurt SJW at best, and I won't go into any more detail for the sake of my blood pressure. Back then, I was too scared to argue with them. I was worried that I was in the wrong, that I was overly sensitive and couldn't take a joke. It took me a long time to realise that people like them weren't just joking. To be honest, I'm scared that this video will attract trolls too. Don't expect me to ever get this serious on my channel again. Originally, I just wanted to give my 2 cents on the skirt discourse and clear up some misconceptions, but then I realised it had links to the unsavoury side of the internet. Since the idea behind my channel is saying what I want to say that hasn't already been said on a platform where people are more likely to notice me, I decided to be brave. If I want to get anywhere on YouTube, I shouldn't be afraid of people disagreeing with me. For those of you who think the skirt rip scene was agenda pushing, consider this. The whole point of Power Rangers is to change a mostly homogenous cast into something more diverse. Why are you only now taking issue with it?